apart. It's a 1 hour and 57-minute cruise.
Captain just reminded us that they find lots of cell phones in the water, so I don't want to lose mine, and also the baseball caps. So it's windy today, so I just want to make sure everything that I have I can carry back home. It's a little windy, and of course it'll be even windier on the water. So we're just about to start sailing.
This is Captain Dean up in the wheelhouse. Is there anybody here from North Dakota? Paging North Dakota residents? North Dakota, Minnesota. I'm sorry, dang it. I usually pick on those people because they're easy to pick on. I'll have to find somebody else to pick on today then. But I like those North Dakota people. They're all millionaires, you know, because of the Bakken oil field. So they have lots of money and they come over and spend it. My tips are unbelievable from North Dakota. We will be departing right at 1 o'clock. So at 1 o'clock, if we all have a seat, I'm going to blow the horn. If you have sensitive ears, I would highly suggest covering your ears. And then when we get over to Angel's Point, I'll also blow the horn and I'll give you a warning. So if you have sensitive ears, cover it with your hands. This afternoon, this is July the 10th. This is the 1 p.m. cruise on Flathead Lake. You are aboard the Far West. This boat has been on this lake for 53 years. 53 years the Far West has been on this lake. It was built 53 years ago in Polson, Montana. It has had several owners since it was first built. But it's 65 feet long, 24 feet wide, and for you mechanics, it is a diesel Detroit 225 horsepower engine. Consumes about 4 gallons of diesel fuel per hour. We hold about 150 gallons of diesel fuel on board. The boat holds capacity out of Glacier National Park, and the Swan River, and that comes out of the Bob Marshall Wilderness. So both clean. Some days the water is just blue-green. Some days it's blue. It all depends on the wind and the weather and the surface currents. We do have some currents on this lake. Not back in 1930s, 1940s, because it was black. They had a fire here. That whole point was black. And a gentleman bought this point.
Angel's Point,
And he subdivided it.
Flathead River, Flathead Lake.
First point, Angel's Point. That's when the word angel was attracted to fire. Well, it sure did. In fact, there's a fire that just bought this piece of property right here on Indian Point. It's about 7 years old. There were 2 homes on this point. Both homes for $7 million. He tore them down. We're going to enter Huckaday Bay.
This is just it. No tours. He sold it, and I don't think the guy had it a year or two.
Okay, this is Huckaday Bay. At one time, the Huckaday family owned all the land around this bay. Today, they have a museum in downtown Kalispell called the Huckaday Museum. That family does not own any property around Huckaday Bay today. They were one of the first families to bring a cherry boat to the west side of Flathead Lake. If you look up straight ahead into that valley, you can see the cherry orchard. In fact, they were one of the very first families that allowed people to pick their own cherries so that you pick orchard. Today it's owned by a couple, and they pick their own cherries and sell them to the market. If you want to start a business, you want to be a multi-millionaire, look around and tell me what kind of business you would like to start. Just look around and give me an idea. What do you see in abundance? How about windows? How about being a window washer? If you wanted to make the money, you should just start a window washer business here. Every single house has got 200 to 300 windows, and those are so high you can't get to them all the time. So start a business here, folks. You probably would be very famous. I don't think there's anybody that does. I have never heard of anybody on this lake that ever made window washing. The house to your right, we're just making a little circle here. This is the osprey house. If you look at the roof structure, it looks like it could be a osprey folding its wings back, diving into the water to catch a fish. So we call it the osprey house. Well, don't take my idea and start that one. I won't start that. I know you guys are going to think about it. I'm going to move to Flathead Lake, and I'm going to especially that couple from Indiana. Where are they at? You stay out of Montana. You go back home. I know you got an idea.
Dealing with the Yellowstone Club, the 1897 club. They're coming here looking to build a new place above Lake Tahoe.
Again, over on your right-hand side, another unique feature on Flathead Lake is the funicular. Now you smell that, and I'll give you free service. The funicular. But it's that tram, the rail system over to your right. You know, a couple bought that property back in 1957. He built that house way up on top. And for 50 years, he had switchbacks.
Turn over a lot of dirt.
And you can see some of the trails still.
Right into Flathead Lake.
But he had to walk up and down and up and down to his house. And then he got tired of spilling his holy beer. Well, that's what they drank back in the 50s and 60s. Holy. They didn't drink Bud Light, Coors Light, Miller Light. No. It was Ole from Olympia, Washington. You betcha. But anyway, he got tired of spilling his beer, so he built that $50,000 convention funicular, or tram, or rail system. And it is in operation today. It's a little cart, just enough for one person and a six-pack of oil. That is the longest funicular on Flathead Lake. There's many, many of them down at Rocky Point down by Kootenai. But this is the longest.
One thing I didn't think of is not getting enough water for a third year too long. First year, it didn't even start out full.
Now, I mentioned the shoreline of Flathead Lake. How many sandy beaches around it? Well, look at that rock here, right? Now, how are you going to build a house on that rock? When you pop that anchor, straight up, you'd have to sandblast, you'd have to dynamite. Oh, my goodness, they do a job. And you can't let the rock fall into the lake. That's illegal. So you'd have to drain it back into the canal. A lot of times there's a rock fires, they do not get inside and you don't grab. All the granite, it's all the granite. And slick it don't look the house. That's where neck shoes. That rock is very slick. Try to climb on it. This is where Marshall sees those eagles. Marshall can find that whitehead. Did yesterday.
I've been looking. I don't see it. It's windy enough that usually they're not fishing.
See all those old snake trees, those dead trees, they sit there. Tired for coming in and buying. Here's a house for sale up here. There's that couple from Indiana. I think they probably can afford it. There's only a couple on board that I can think of. Right, it's a family reunion. I don't see any children out playing today, but normally there's about 30, 35 youngsters, all related cousins. And they have more fun with all those toys up on the shore. What a way to spend the summer on Flathead Lake with all your family. I don't see is the Flathead Lutheran Bible Camp. That was established in 1943. 250 acres of prime Flathead Lake shore and forest. About 3,000 families enjoy that camp every summer. I don't see anybody around there today, so they must be in playing bingo also. Oh, there's somebody on the rock. If you're a youngster born in Kalispell back in the 50s, 60s, 70s, there were no swimming pools in Kalispell, Folsom, Whitefish, Gully Falls, and so everybody came here to learn how to swim. This is the swimming pool area, Flathead Lake, back in those days.
Flathead Lutheran Bible Camp.
Now, straight ahead is a house with a blue roof, or should I say mansion, or should I say condos, or what should I say? But anyway, that house with the blue roof, over to your right about 2 o'clock. It took them 2 years to blast the rock away from that site to even start building on that house. 3 years to build the house. So just recently they actually did move in. 5-year construction on that. Now, there's something else I want you to think about. Every one of these homes has a dock. Every single one of these docks have one boat or 2 boats. And they're always in the dock. I never see them out on the water. So is it you buy a house, you buy a boat, and then you just watch it? Apparently. I don't know. I've never seen any boats leave the dock. Well, you know, there's a lot of people at home that have these homes, they're only here for a week. April, about 25 to 30 Canadian geese families nest there. Once the eggs hatch, they go into Goose Bay, of course. So we have Goose Island and Goose Bay. And they stay in Goose Bay until the young are old enough to fly, because it protects them. There's good protection and food supplies. You know, those little buggers, they eat a lot of insects. Instant protein. So we have Goose Island and Shipwreck Island. Now, if you look at Shipwreck Island from here, you can see the bow, you can see the stern, you can see maybe 3 smokestacks. So we call it Shipwreck Island. And that's not we, somebody started years ago. If you're going to spend more than a couple days here around Flathead Lake, I would highly recommend getting in a boat or something and go down to Shelter Island. That's another 8 miles south of here. Shelter Island has a huge castle.